When there are disagreements between parents and the school regarding a student's special education program, there are many options available to try to resolve the differences. One choice is mediation. In Pennsylvania, mediation is provided through the Office for Dispute Resolution, or ODR. This video was created to explain the mediation process so that parents and schools will have a better understanding of what to expect during mediation.
Before we went to mediation, we didn't know what to expect. I was anxious and concerned that we would feel intimidated by the school, but the mediator did an excellent job of making us feel comfortable. And mostly, the mediator made us feel as though we were really being heard. I was so glad that we agreed to try mediation. It really works.
Mediation is a non-intrusive, informal meeting that encourages both sides to explore different avenues to meet the student's needs. Here are some things that are important to remember about mediation. Mediation is a process that depends on the willingness of the parties to discuss their concerns openly and honestly. Mediation is not scheduled unless both sides agree to participate. Participating in mediation does not take away the right to a due process hearing. ODR pays all mediator fees and expenses. The only costs to the parties are the time spent in the mediation process and the payment of fees for any guests they invite to mediation.
Our district has used mediation several times with very positive results. We have found it to be much less time-consuming and more cost-effective than going to a due process hearing. But even more important, mediation allows us to maintain a better relationship with the family, and I'm very committed to the process.
When mediation has been requested and agreed upon by both the parent and the school, the Office for Dispute Resolution assigns a mediator to assist them through the mediation process. All ODR mediators are trained in conflict resolution techniques and in special education law. The mediator, acting as a neutral third party in the process, facilitates discussion and enables the parties to either develop a written agreement or, in a small number of cases, agree to disagree.
Mediation works. It's a positive, non-threatening way of communicating between parents and school districts that helps them work together for the best interest of the child. The mediation process encourages each person present to have a voice. Ideas and opinions are discussed, and decisions made based on input from everyone present. It's taking the time to find a win-win solution to disagreements over how to best assist a child in special education.
How do you get the mediation process started? A request form is available online or by contacting ODR directly. The request form is completed and signed by both sides. The ODR case manager works with both sides to decide on a date, time, and place that everyone agrees to. ODR then contacts a mediator to oversee the mediation session.
I was very surprised how easy it was to get the mediation set up. On the request form, I provided some convenient dates that worked into my schedule, and the Office for Dispute Resolution coordinated everything with the district. Everyone was very accommodating.
So what happens at the mediation session? The parts of mediation include introductions, opening statements by each side, joint sessions, possibly a private meeting with the mediator called a caucus, and in the end, hopefully a written agreement. Let's look at each step.
Hi, my name is Marty Thomas Brumet. I'm a mediator with the Office for Dispute Resolution. First of all, I just want to say thanks, Mr. and Mrs. Smith and Ms. Snyder and Ms. Jones, for your participation in this mediation. It's really important, and I'm glad you chose to do it. As a mediator, I don't have any power or authority to make anyone do anything. My job is strictly to help all of you figure out what you would like to do in this situation. This is a confidential meeting. I would ask that any notes that are taken during the meeting be given to me, and I will destroy them at the end. The only written record we will have of this meeting will be the agreement. And if we don't have an agreement, there will be no written record.
The mediator greets and, when necessary, introduces all parties and invited guests. The mediation process and ground rules are explained. The importance of open and honest discussion, maintaining confidentiality, and the importance of each party's commitment to a binding agreement are stressed by the mediator.
Typically, we start with an uninterrupted opening statement by each party. During this time, I would ask that you just listen. Don't ask any questions or make any comments. After both sides have had a chance to share their side of the situation, we'll have a chance for discussion and comments. Since the parents brought this to mediation, I would ask that they go first.
Well, our son John is in the 7th grade, and this is his first year at the middle school. When he was in the elementary school, he was able to keep on task and get his assignments done because we had a lot of supports in place as part of his IEP. But now that he's at the middle school, it seems as though the school is just expecting him to be mature enough to complete his assignments on his own. He just can't stay organized, he's having a very difficult time at school, and he's bringing it home and he's very frustrated.
Thank you. Now I would like to hear from the school district.
Thank you. John has a learning disability and ADHD, and because John has significant delays in math, he goes to the resource room for math. There have been a lot of problems with John not completing his work on time. Once a student reaches the middle school, we encourage them to be more responsible for their own assignments. And this is where I think we're having some problems with John.
Each side is given an opportunity to present their view of the issues. The mediator and all participants listen without interruption. The purpose of the opening statements is to get all points of view out in the open. The mediator may ask questions or summarize what is said.
I want to clarify to make sure I understand, so let me ask a few questions, and then we can discuss where we want to go with this session. As I understand it, you're feeling that if we give too much support to John, he's going to become dependent on the support. And you're feeling he needs a little bit more support for him to be successful. Is that pretty much the way
A joint meeting helps to identify areas of agreement and issues that need further discussion and resolution. Open and courteous disagreement is encouraged as a means of finding all areas of tension and discord. Usually the parties define one or more issues to be resolved and work together to suggest and evaluate proposed resolutions.
I just don't think you appreciate how frightening and frustrating this year has been for John. He's never had to change classes before this year, and he gets lost and confused, which causes him stress in class. And he doesn't like going to the resource room because he feels singled out.
We feel as though we're spending hours each night just sorting through his papers and books, trying to figure out what he's supposed to be doing. John doesn't even like going to school anymore, and it's something that he really used to love doing. He's becoming very frustrated with everything.
Sometimes the mediator will have a private meeting with each side called a caucus. The purpose of a caucus is to clarify views and feelings and provide additional information about the issues and possible solutions. The mediator will not share information from the caucus with the other party without consent. As joint sessions continue, the mediator will help the sides keep communication and dialogue moving forward.
Mrs. Smith, what supports were in place last year for John that are no longer available to him this year?
Well, last year in elementary school, his teacher signed an assignment book every day to show us what assignments John had due. John would bring that book home, and when he completed his assignment at home, we would sign the book to confirm with the teacher that he did complete his assignment.
Ms. Snyder, I know it's difficult in the middle school to have each teacher sign an assignment book, but can you think of a good way to help John remember his assignments and keep track of them? It seems to me we're having some good discussion, some good ideas about how to help John, and some of these issues we're coming to agreement on. We can continue this discussion, but I would like to begin to write down some of these ideas that we think will help John. For example, Ms. Snyder offered to have each teacher post John's assignments to the district website so he can access them later. Is this something you would like?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yes, sure. We can access the website too, and we'll know what his assignments are each day.
Okay.
That would be really helpful.
Let me draft some language to put this into place.
If the parties reach resolution, the mediator helps them to write an agreement. The parties decide the terms of the agreement and compose the wording. The mediator puts the agreement in writing for both parties. The agreement is written in very specific terms so that each person understands exactly what to expect, including the responsibility and time frame associated with each step.
We have some areas of agreement and steps written into the agreement that will help John. Is there anything else we need to discuss?
I heard what you said, Mr. Smith, about John not wanting to come to the resource room. I understand that at his age, students don't like feeling different than the others. I was thinking that perhaps John would not need to come to the resource room every day.
Well, Mrs. Jones, what are you thinking?
If John is able to stay focused and organized with the other steps we are putting in place, then maybe if he comes to see me 2 or 3 times a week, it might be enough to keep him caught up.
Well, we might be able to implement that on a trial basis. How long would you suggest that we implement this?
I think that if we start this change to John's schedule next week, then we could evaluate after the end of the 6-week marking period.
If everyone agrees, we can add this to the agreement. Do we want to start with 2 or 3 times a week for John? I believe we have everything added to this agreement that you wanted. I want to read it now, out loud, to make sure that everything is exactly as you would like it to be. And then I want you to review it and sign it. I will make copies for each of you to keep. I also want to thank you for your participation in this mediation today. I think you worked through some difficult issues, and we have an agreement that's going to help John to be successful.
When parties approach the mediation in good faith with the intention of reaching an agreement, the likelihood of a positive outcome is great. And because an agreement is written by the participants themselves, there is strong interest to make sure the agreement is upheld. The end result is keeping the student at the center of the focus and helping him or her to be successful.
The great thing about mediation is that the mediator helps the parents and the school come up with their own ideas and solutions for the child. And since the parents in the district work with the student each day, we're the ones most committed to the student's success. I would encourage parents and schools to give mediation a try. I think they will find it to be a positive experience.
As a parent, you always worry if you're doing the best for your child. As I was going through the mediation process, I felt as though the mediator's goal was to keep my child at the center of everyone's focus. My opinions and my knowledge of my own child were important.
When disagreements occur between team members on just how to help a student in special education, the Office for Dispute Resolution is ready and able to help. I've seen wonderful things occur as a result of school districts and parents using the mediation process. Most times, parents leave the mediation table feeling satisfied that their concerns for their child have been addressed. And school districts are relieved to find workable solutions that avoid costly legal proceedings and that a child has been helped to succeed in school. Being together and talking things out result in positive changes and deeper understandings that benefit everyone, especially the child. Give us a call. We are here to help.
The Office for Dispute Resolution is committed to helping families and schools find early and local ways to resolve disagreements. For more information on mediation and other services offered, please visit our website.